The following program is rated TV MAL. It contains strong language and is intended only for mature audiences.
What's up, everybody? Merry Christmas. It's the last Friday night before we have Christmas. I'm wearing a Grinch onesie because I am festive. But I'm also your host, the Appalachian American. Joining me as always, my left-hand man, the author, David Applegate.
G'day, friends and fans. Welcome to another War Room. Yes, only a few more sleeps till Christmas. The big man himself will arrive and hand out free stuff.
Yeah, the man is super loud behind him is Channel Day Bradley.
And you're super quiet. I can almost hear you over the music.
Wow.
I had to turn it up. And the intro music was really loud, so I had to turn it down.
Yeah, it is pretty loud. But you know what?
But
it should get your attention.
Time for an IPA. It's an okay one. Last one.
You sound so sad.
Last one.
You're like, the last one.
Last one. Not
That
good.
man chuckling in the background is the Anime Night.
Hey guys, what's up? Happy Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. We're excited for Christmas.
Happy Belchmas, according to Vote. Jeez.
Yeah,
Oh, you didn't mute me?
No, I don't mute you. You need to mute yourself.
Okay. Sorry.
Last week I went to go see Christmas Vacation in the big screen. It was fantastic. Mungo.
That's where I saw it first.
David, 12369. Ooh, 12369. He said hello from Massachusetts. What's up?
Massachusetts.
How's it going? We're just kind of getting kicked off, you know. Talking about our last week, I haven't seen you guys in like, what, 2 weeks now?
Oh, good, yeah.
Something like that.
Didn't I host 2 weeks in a row?
I think you did.
Yeah.
I don't know. No, because the last week I made it in time. I thought I was going to be late.
Yeah, I think there was one, then it came back, and then last week you were gone.
Yeah, I was doing date night with the wife. It was great. Fantastic Mundo. But yeah, we had a great time seeing that movie like it was intended to see. I loved it.
Some of us are old enough to have seen it the first time around.
Wow.
Don't worry, your time is coming. There'll be somebody. Oh, I just saw the re-release of such and such, and you're gonna remember. I remember back in my day, I had to watch that on DVD. Yeah. Or what was that other competing format? Was it HD?
I don't know.
That's what it was. HD DVD and Blu-ray. That was the replacement of the DVDs. The first Xbox was not a Blu-ray player. It was an HD DVD. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, wasn't Xbox the last to go Blu-ray?
Yep. Because I think Sony has part of the patent, if I remember correctly, which is why they didn't do it.
Nice. Well, I like Sony. I've been able to watch Blu-rays for many years because of their PS systems.
It's their obsession with screwing over the Yankee.
So,
Why are you yawning, man?
because I'm tired, dude. I work. I'm a man.
Are you sure about that?
Yeah, but man,
He's looking.
Yes.
I'm a man in my, he says, proud lady onesie.
Hey, it's not a lady's onesie. It's a man's onesie.
I didn't say ladies, bro. I didn't say lady onesie. I said a man in his proud in his onesie.
Yeah, man. It was great. It's fantastic.
Well, just don't dye your hair blue.
Oh, I'm not. That's
Any minute now, somebody will come in with a platter of chicken tendies.
that would be weird.
I like it there. So, speaking of gay, did you hear what happened with poor old Nick Fuentes?
Who's Nick Fuentes?
Right-wing asshole. Or is there two of them?
Oh,
I don't know, to be honest.
And he's an asshole.
He's a I wouldn't call him right-wing. I guess he's a fascist who sees the juice under every rock.
Yeah.
Literally. Like, it gets annoying. It's like, dude, you give them far more power than they really have.
Yeah. Even some paranoid conspiracy theorists say Nick, dial it back.
Yeah. He makes Alex Jones look normal.
Wow. That's hard to do. I love Alex Jones, but I haven't listened in a long time just because my work schedule is so hectic. And I like listening.
2/3 of the time, he's not there anymore. And when he is there, he talks about his penis pills and his family. It's like, dude, I could cover the news, and 4 hours later, he still hasn't covered a single story. Yeah. It's like, now, since I watch it on tape delay, as it were, there are times it's nice because then I can get through a whole show in a half an hour, all 4 hours, because it's like, okay, he's doing this again, or he's talking about his lawsuit. Yeah. And
yes. So back before I left my old job, I was able to listen more consistently.
Yeah.
And there towards the end, man, it was very much like you missed a lot of good stuff right at 12 to 12:30. And then he just went on talking about his lawsuit. And then over time, it just became more of lawsuit talk. And I'm like, yeah. Dude.
There are times where it's like he forgets what he covers. Because I haven't talked much about this, and it's literally the first 40 minutes of the hour before.
Yeah.
And then he talks for another half hour, and then he reads a headline and then talks about how his dad or his grandfather was almost involved with NASA, or this happened, or his uncle was this in World War II. Yeah. And then the hour's over, and I'm like, oh my God. But there are times I don't mind because I can just get through this show like a heroin addict in 20 minutes, and then I get back to work.
The thing is, when those boy stories are getting a bit old, Alex.
Well, and he gets his dates wrong almost every time. I've actually started fact checking him a little bit, and he's like, when I was 11, this happened. I'm like, no, that movie was not out when you were 11.
That's funny.
It wasn't you were 15. It's like there was one he was talking about Rambo 3, and I'm like, no, he was like 15 or 16. It's like, okay. And now I don't know where all week he's been dialing it in, or not all week. He was there, and then it looks like he's in West Texas, but I'm not positive because of his background. It's kind of deserty, but it's definitely got a jacket on.
I know he's changed location. He's at a new studio rented by Roger Stone.
Well, that studio is just down the street from his old studio, but he's been on remote somewhere. I don't know.
No, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, he's at one of Stone's studios, not.
Well, this week he's been in his car or just outside with a phone, recording something and sending it in. But he had the Dark Journalist was on. Was that yesterday's show? Today's show. Because he had Owen substitute, and then it was yesterday. And he's talking about UFOs and all this stuff. And that guy is so dull and so dry that it's like, I can't take it. Because this time of year too, because of the way we do development these days, I'm just kind of creating my own busy work right now. I could be getting some serious stuff done, but no, we can't start. Never mind.
So never mind. Yeah, nothing ever gets done.
Yeah.
Well, when you're on these meetings,
yeah,
and less than a third of the people on them actually do the work, and then you wonder why it takes so long to get anything done. Well, you have 2/3 overhead you don't need, or you need dialed back. Because there are certain business decisions that have to be made, but once they're made, get out of the way. Anyway, l'chaim.
Yeah, dude. This whole time of the year is definitely just it's next year's problem. Hurry up and wait.
Yeah. Well, and as a consultant, it was worse, man. I mean, I actually got laid off one year the Monday before Thanksgiving, and I didn't find another project until February.
Yeah. Hey,
So,
do you guys ever watch Tim Pool?
sometimes he had a real interesting piece of work last night on the show.
I'm getting ready. Did you watch it?
I tried, man. That kid was so dumb. I couldn't handle it.
Tim ripped him apart.
Then Tim just went off. It's like if Tim could stop getting so pissed at these leftists, he could really educate them.
Well, I'm getting ready to share screen and do that, so you might get
all right, that's all right.
some echo. So
The month that they should get. I do respect the fact that they were prosecuted in a court of law, and I don't think Trump to send a message to his base that what happened on January 6th was good, which is why he would do such a pardon. Should be pardoning folks who were violent. Or
I think 3 years is long enough.
Yeah, and that's a wrong stance, but okay.
How is it wrong?
I just explained it to you.
No. You didn't. You said the court process should play out the way it is. My opinion on the amount of time should be served for a crime is not just wrong because you like courts.
No, I get
You
that.
need to explain
I'm saying
why the time frame I'm asserting should be longer than 3 years.
No, I'm saying the default, you have to have overwhelming
Dang, I'm getting serious echo. Hang on, David, I'm gonna mute you for a second.
compelling evidence that someone has been wronged to justify a president stepping in and saying, I'm subverting the justice system outcome. Do you agree with that premise?
No.
That's immoral.
So you're making a fascist argument.
Does he?
Argument?
Can you pause it a
You're making
second?
a fascist argument that
This is about when I turned it off. Does he? I don't want to
I'm
spoiler
not
here.
for the conversation right now.
Okay. Is Tim going to bring up Biden's pardons?
I think
I
he
don't know.
does. I haven't seen the full
Okay.
clip. And
Okay, go keep going then. Yeah. Okay. I'm sorry,
Have you
Dave. What?
seen it?
I said I think he gets right at the end, but it's clipped off.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Because Obama pardoned a lot of people
Obama's nuts.
who really did terrorist stuff.
Yeah. Hey, for reference, the clip that I sent you guys in our Twitter group chat, this is not that same clip. That one clip
Okay.
I sent you was like a 9-minute clip. This is
Oh.
a 10-minute clip.
So I have to be at the end. So
It
that-
could
All right.
be, there could be a little bit more from that clip. So, all right,
Okay.
David, mute yourself real quick.
Maybe it's an omnidirectional mic. I
It's
don't
got to be
understand.
something because it sounds like he's got two mics going. It sounds like he's picking up. It sounds like it's picking up extra stuff like out of the room, but he's wearing headphones. That's what I don't understand.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
whatever.
the hierarchical structure of government is just and should be upheld regardless.
Why? Okay, I'm not going to ask that. This is
Right. And so the system we have
No,
is
I'm just not loving, and this is a way of celebrating violence, that Trump is celebrating those as far as a pardon and in his rhetoric and in his national anthem thingy, people who attacked the Capitol. Why did they attack it? Because they believed lies about the election.
What a retard.
No.
David, you got something to say?
Wait a minute. Back that up like 30 seconds. Can you?
Yeah. Hillary Clinton.
What did he say? Oh, yeah, that's good enough. That's good enough, I think.
Okay.
Go ahead and play it.
I'm going to mute David.
Of celebrating violence, that Trump is celebrating those as far as a pardon and in his rhetoric and in his national anthem thingy, people who attacked the Capitol. Why did they attack it? Because they believed lies about the election.
There's a variety of reasons why people were violent on January.
What? You sound like you had something to say.
No, I was making sure I was hearing what he said correctly.
Okay.
It's Tim's bringing up the fascist argument previous is actually interesting because that's essentially what happened to Kristallnacht. You had you had your useful idiots attacking the Capitol, and then Hitler said we have to uphold the law to keep it just, and that's when they went out and killed a bunch of people. Now he's not suggesting that, because he said, he was whoring violence. But I find the line of reasoning is very similar. But go ahead.
Okay. Let's see.
January 6th, largely that they believe the election was
be like,
stolen.
hey, that's bad. You don't have to keep going.
I've called for their arrest and prosecution. Like, this is not a shock to my audience.
My reporting is responsible for the arrest of a couple of January 6th
My point is that if you've got somebody on a misdemeanor charge who's been held without trial, a pardon makes perfect sense, unless you're a fascist, and the system is just. So it's like Benjamin Franklin, who said it is better that 100 guilty persons escape than one innocent person suffer. You've taken the Otto von Bismarck approach of it is better that 10 innocent people suffer than one guilty person escape.
No.
Yeah. Well, okay, you have.
No,
right.
I
So
haven't.
No. Stop. You don't know anything about these January 6 cases. You don't know why these people are in jail. You don't know that a man is in Brooklyn right now for 3 years without charge or trial. And when Donald Trump says these people have been held for too long, you say, no, Trump is wrong.
Do what?
This is where Tim gets really loud. It's just like, dude, and I understand it's his show, but I'm like, people that are quite opposite of you tend to, when they're yelled at, tend to stop listening.
Yeah.
They're waiting to interrupt you. They're not listening anymore. But if you use their own words against them, their own logic, lead them through their own logic, that's when they'll have the potential to say, hey, wait a minute, what did I just say? Because you're trying to turn their own words against them, but you got to let them do it.
I think Tim's frustrated because this guy's just been a deliberate asshole. They probably had a long conversation long before they went on air. Tim thought he was going to be reasonable, and he just took the bitch position because he's on Timcast and wants to be a bitch.
Yeah, well, I mean, how many times do you have to have a conversation with somebody, and in his mind, when they brought him on, it was like, okay, I know what's about to happen. We're going to have this conversation, yada, yada, yada. And then he gets on here, and when he asks questions about the court cases, the kid's like, what? I don't know.
Well, he's conflating. I don't want to sound like I'm in defending him, but it feels like to me he's conflating those who did attack the Capitol, who are all FBI agents or undercover police.
I mean, assets, because they're not.
And assets, right?
Yeah.
With those, and maybe Tim's doing the conflation here, because he did talk about people who were violent, and Tim's talking about people who had misdemeanor charges. Who it's like, I think you're talking past one another. And Tim does this a lot, where he goes on his diatribe and he's talking past people, and they're not talking about the same thing.
Yeah.
But I can understand, unless I misheard what this, I forget who's the other guy. What's his name?
I didn't catch his name, to be honest.
Okay, because he was talking about the violence, right? And that they went, because he's in the beginning, he's of the clip, he's talking about that they went through the court proceedings and all that. Okay, but you had people who had trials who weren't even there, right? Who were tried for things that didn't have anything to do with. They may have been involved and they may were the part of some group that was there, but they weren't there. They weren't calling people on the phone, throw rocks, hit the police. And they got railroaded into prison. So I think instead of yelling and pointing his finger like he is, and granted we've got 7.5 more minutes, but this is almost like there's two reasons why I stopped listening to him. One is when he's doing this, and the other is when Ian talks for too long.
Yeah.
So, because it's like, dude, you had the opportunity, and maybe, granted, I don't talk to people like this a lot, and he does, and so maybe he is frustrated that they just seem to be. It's like they hit a wall and they just won't move. But anyway, go ahead. I'll try to button my lip here and let Tim rant. But
no, I mean, I like having the conversation. That's fine. I'm
Yeah.
actually sharing a post on Rumble that we're live right now, or
Yeah.
sharing a post on X that we're live on Rumble.
yeah, because it's if you take the kid's position of the law and the courts, okay, fine. Then why are there people who have not been charged with a crime, which is what he's talking about here? Don't scream at him. Just kind of ask, well, what about people who've been held without charge, without bail, and without trial for 3 years?
Right.
Just held in jail. That's against the law.
Pretty much.
And if I were Trump, as far as pardoning people, I would pardon the people who have misdemeanors for trespassing and they're still rotting in jail. And I would turn around and prosecute all the actual perpetrators, whether they were federal agents or not. If you were violent and we have video evidence of you being violent, you get prosecuted, and I don't care who you are. Most of those are going to be agents of some sort. Very few. There were a few people who got sucked into it. But even, with Ray Epps the night before, when he was talking about going to the Capitol, I've probably all seen the video of people chanting "Fed, Fed, Fed" there in the streets of Washington.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this was an operation that people walked right into.
That included members of Antifa, to the point where the government censored live news broadcasts beeping out the words Antifa.
Yeah. So anyway, whenever you're ready, I'll be quiet.
Yeah.
I'll try and get for at least a few more minutes.
That's cool.
Well, and the thing is, too, when you do these, you can't throw them too much in a row or you get dinged for copyright.
Well,
so we need it.
I mean, that's why I'm on purposely stopping it a minute so we can talk about what we just watched. So It's cool.
Keep them locked up. That's fucking fascist. Dude, you've been sitting here with no knowledge of the specifics of some of these cases. There is a man in Brooklyn right now, I'm going to say it again, no charges whatsoever brought. He's been in jail for 3 fucking years. For you to sit there and say it is good that he remains locked up is fascism. That is saying the hierarchical system of the courts and the government is just, and the process is all that matters. And I am saying perhaps 3 years is enough. Because I actually have moral logic and an understanding of these cases. Hence, my position on January 6th has always been the people who have attacked police must go to prison. But 3 years is a fucking long time for assault on an officer. We have seen people on the far left, notably when they were firebombing shit all across.
What?
I don't think I've ever heard Tim talk like this.
Well, I mean, dude, it's the truth, though. That's the thing. Like, this dude, he loves his fascist government, and he's eating it all up. And it's like, dude, stop.
And is this guy a leftist, or is he? Okay, well, see, that's why I'm saying, fascism is. I have a video from many years ago. Maybe I should dig it up, where I talk about the spear of tyranny, and how I'm actually pointing it this way to go to the left. And so on that spear, if you were to hold it straight up, socialism's in the middle, but on the two flanks, the two little points on the either side of it, to the left is communism, to the right is fascism. And that's where the right wing of fascism is. It's still a totalitarian. It is not a liberty-minded right. In the U.S. parlance, right wing is small L libertarian, liberal, classical liberal, right?
Yeah.
Enough governmental structure to maintain order without a homogenous society. Because pure libertarian, and I'll even say it from an anarcho-capitalist standpoint, where I tend to be, requires a homogenous society. Now, that is a social structure, not a racial structure. So you need one culture, not competing cultures in one country. And that's essentially what the United States was founded on. Yes, there were some Jews. I'm sure there was some Muslims, but the Judeo-Christian backbone was the homogenous cultural aspect of society. Now, there are some people like Thomas Paine and others who were deists, and they weren't quite atheists, but there was a recognition of that classical, what essentially created the Renaissance in Europe. Okay, and they recognized it from a religious standpoint and not purely humanism standpoint, which is what differentiates the American Revolution from the French Revolution. That is, in its core, the difference is what was propelling the people. One, it was religious freedom and belief, and the other one was humanism, and that's why the French Revolution ended up with the guillotine, and then they ended up with Napoleon eventually. But anyway, it's, yeah, no, I've never seen Tim this angry. Because normally when he gets this perturbed at a guest, he just cuts the feed and says screw it, and then takes down the episode and it's gone.
Two things that strike me. One, it strikes me that these two have had a long conversation beforehand.
Does seem that way, yeah, I agree.
And the conversation they're having on air is going a different direction than it went when they were off beforehand. All right?
Okay, yeah.
You look at Ted's disappointment. He's caught off guard. The words he's hearing aren't the words he expected to be hearing. Okay? He's caught off guard. And two, I think there's a personal connection, and he's personally disappointed in how fascist this guy is turning out to be.
Or at least pretending to be, right?
Yeah,
at least pretending to be. But at some point, he's both disappointed on a personal and professional level that, oh my God, this guy's treating me like this guy's a douchebag and he's treating me like shit.
Yeah.
On purpose, just try and score points.
Mm-hmm. He look at me, I went on Tim Pool, and we had dissenting opinions. It's like, no, bro, like, you have retarded opinions.
Oh, that's it.
Sorry,
the general
YouTube.
consensus is that people aren't this little tweet.
Well, we're speaking against fascism, so maybe YouTube won't mind.
Yeah. I don't know. They love being fascist.
Well, that's the whole point of the totalitarian spear, right? It uses whatever combination of whatever is necessary at the moment to make sure that the state continues.
It's power, yeah. That's what fascism is. The state maintaining power through corporate and social structures, right? Whereas socialism is just pure governmental structures, right? There's no corporate stuff.
Right, which is in many ways why the Soviet Union fell, because it had no. Or you could argue in some ways what Nazi Germany had a problem with, although I don't know. They always thought they were socialists. Well, it's probably why Mussolini had problems, right? He had the fascism side, but he didn't have the social structure. So while the trains ran on time, people starved.
Yeah. When you try to merge the social, the political, and the religious into one order, that is the state, you'll always lose out one, right? The state becomes the religion, and all social structures fall apart because, everything, the order becomes of, everything. You know what happens if you get people who are fanatical, So they don't care about anything other than meeting the structure. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. And that's kind of what this kid's talking about. This is what Tim's yelling at him about, because it's the courts. The courts prevailing is more important that there's people suffering in jail who don't belong there.
Yeah.
The system prevailed, but people suffered.
Yep.
Innocent people suffered.
Yeah.
Yeah. And again,
and that is more, like he said, more Bismarck's. I don't know if it's necessarily Bismarck. It's probably just.
I think Bismarck was authoritarian towards the end.
Right. But it's almost like he was of that late 19th century mindset too.
Yes.
He was quite old. Right. Yes. We did this experiment with the Weimar Republic. It didn't work. Because it didn't work because it had a lot of flaws. What was he? What was Bismarck? It's
liberal Democrat.
No. I was thinking was he Prussian?
Yes.
He may have been. Yeah.
Yes.
So that Prussian mindset is kind of what is the default there. Yeah.
Yeah, the social order.
Yeah.
Which unfortunately which Hitler used to create the religious order of the state.
Yeah. Sorry. No. Anime, you got anything you want to
say? Necessarily, Tim Pool is not. Tim Pool is not wrong here. He is not wrong.
Oh no, I'm not disagreeing with what he's saying. I'm just saying he had
every right. He had every right to explode.
But I think David, right.
You can tell. Like you can tell, he was like trying to be reasonable, let the dude speak. But it's like, whoa, wait a minute. What is this guy talking about? Did this guy even know what we're talking about?
Yeah.
Or anything?
Well, I think it's where David has a point. It's quite possible that previous to this went differently. And he thought, hey, we're going to have this nice contrasting discussion. And then, and this is, I mean, Seth, you brought up Nick Fuentes earlier. He and what's his name? Were on Alex a couple of years ago. And he had a black guy. What's his name? Shoot. But he had the mask on the whole time. And they thought it was going to go, huh?
Kanye West,
and I think was what's his name in there too? The former gay guy. Milo. And then Milo finally distanced himself from him. But yeah, it's like he thought he was going to have a discussion, and they were doing stupid things, and eventually it was almost like, hey, let's go troll Alex for an hour, and
yeah.
Right.
Well, that's
and he was a bit.
What Nick Fuentes is. He's actually a professional troll.
Yeah, and this is kind of what's going on here, sort of. But anyway, I'm sorry, Anime. I interrupted you again.
Anyway, is this Harry Sisson?
It looks like it, but I don't think so.
It's his more. It's his more than dumber twin version of him. Just as Dimble, just as gay. So, but this guy has clearly never seen what this world has gone through in the last 4 years. He is not
just as gay. That was hilarious. Oh my god! All right, let's go back to the video clip.
I would say
on mute while we watch.
Oh, it's Luke Beasley is his name.
Still just.
I would say the other words. Abolition. I would say the other words, but that box is closed right now for reasons.
Hold on. 33 people murdered. And how many criminal charges did we get for this? When they firebombed a police station and forced the police to evacuate. On May 29th, 2020, when thousands of far leftists firebombed the White House grounds and set fire to St. John's Church and injured 100 police officers, how many fucking people went to prison for 3 years? How many of them who never showed up on that day are in prison for 20 years? Enrique Tarrio wasn't even in D.C. on January 6th. And you are saying that man his only crime was, quote, don't leave. That's his only crime. You think he should be in prison for 20 years because you're a fascist. You don't care what the facts are. You don't care if this is unjust. You only care that the machine state has decreed you are not to be locked up. And this is the problem I have with the left. They don't know the facts. They don't care about the facts. They view morality as a blanket government stroke of the pen.
Pause. His voice is about to crack.
Oh, yeah.
You hear it's like he's fired up, but he is really holding back. It's like he just wants to, I don't know, punch him or something. I mean, it's almost like he's like, oh.
No, it's a machine gun. It's the machine. Here's this. It's the machine guns firing right now, and right behind him is just a call to do massive carpet bombing.
Yeah,
like straight across, like straight across carpet bombing. This dude's like literally one call away from that happening. He's like, you know what? This guy took our machine gun fire. Call in the carpet bomb squadron.
Yeah,
that's what this is heading.
Just FYI, I forgot to put the banner up. Hey, you guys can call in 540-632-1315. You guys can call in, talk to us, tell us what you think about this, tell us what you think about, I don't know, anything. It's like a call-in segment for, like, if you ever watched InfoWars. We can do that. So, yeah. Anyway, as you guys were saying, are you guys ready to play?
No, I'm done. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Let's keep going.
The comments are great.
And every person, regardless of their crime, should be in prison for decades. I reject it outright. The people who fought cops should go to prison. They did. It's been 3 years. But when you've got people who are on misdemeanor charges for having walked into a building at 4 p.m. after the riot, and I know some of these people, they walked into a building for 2 minutes and walked out, and they got 18 months for that. I don't see you defending the innocent people who walked onto a public grass at a public building after a riot had been completed. You don't know. You don't care. You've taken a tribal position, and people are suffering because of it.
Who said, oh?
Now you say that
his lips, that dude's lips did that slight smile thing.
Oh, was you said, oh? It wasn't Phil?
No, I think it was somebody. Like on his group, because there's about 4 or 5 people sitting around the table right now.
Yeah, because that was one of the things when I watched a little bit last night. Is Phil and who else was there? The other guy that was there. They seemed to suddenly be quiet. This was, I mean, I didn't see this part. I stopped watching, I think, long before this. But and also the dogs were dancing about and saying, "Hey, we need to go out again." But yeah, this is. Does he keep yelling like this for the next 5 minutes?
I don't know, but I forgot.
Right. Yeah, that's. I think so.
Wow. All right, we're gonna keep. You want to keep going, or
you want to keep going?
I'm gonna keep going.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, David, get back in the box.
Building for 2 minutes and walked out, and they got 18 months for that. I don't see you defending the innocent people who walked onto a public grass at a public building after a riot had been completed. You don't know, you don't care. You've taken a tribal position, and people are suffering because of it. Now you say that Donald Trump saying the injustice that we've seen warrants commutation or pardons. You say that means he's advocating for violence. This is the ultimate problem. Then you cite a press release from Maryland saying, but the right's more violent. There is a distinction between a white supremacist as a right-wing group and a run-of-the-mill Christian conservative who showed up on that day not to protest. Let's talk about Brandon Strzok. He never went in the building. He was on the other side of the building. There was a permitted protest. He walked up the stairs and he was yelling. They put this guy in prison. There is Owen Schroyer, who was at a permitted rally, who was yelling death to communists. They put him in prison and specifically cited his speech. My dude, you don't know what you're talking about. And it's fine. I get it. We try to be polite. We try to be nice. But there are so...
I
didn't know Owen was screaming that.
Death to communists.
Yeah. But I know he was trying to keep people out of the building, too. Yeah, I think he stepped on the curb or something, and he had a restraining order against him. He couldn't be on Capitol grounds or something.
Oh, yes. My gosh. That's ridiculous. Flat out ridiculous. You stepped on a curb. Whoops.
That's like if I had a restraining order against Channel Dad, and somebody shoved him onto my property, and boom, the cops arrest him right there. Wait a minute, Brian Lape got shoved. Yeah, I'm well aware that I have a restraining order against him, but this was a pure accident.
Yeah, I saw a thing today. I think it was in New York, and it's under review by the owner of McDonald's. But there's a parking lot. I guess they had a problem with people parking, and there's someone inside the McDonald's. There's calling. There's tow trucks that were lingering, and as soon as someone got out of their car and walked off of, they didn't walk into McDonald's. They stepped right off of the property. They were calling tow truck to come get their car.
Dang.
And it was something I saw. I don't know why it came up on YouTube. That one, and then there was another one where there was an HOA. That member that was somebody on the board was calling, and one people stood up to the tow truck driver and actually called the police. Actually, on both instances, the police said because there hadn't been a complaint filed, it was considered stealing, vehicle theft. That they were trying to take because the tow on the HOA one, the tow truck driver wanted $75 for a drop fee, and when they called the police, and the police basically said, if you don't drop the vehicle, I'm arresting you for stealing. Because it was somebody, I forget, and it was somebody who did they have expired tags? They had something, and the cop actually ended up writing them a warning because of whatever was on the vehicle they needed to get taken care of. But that was not the purview of the homeowners association to enforce. So that's what he was basically saying. They can't do this. They're breaking the law, and you're breaking the law. I'll arrest you if you don't drop the vehicle. And then he cited the person with a warning for whatever they need to get taken care of. Anyway, so along the lines of what you were saying, Anna, man, it was a bit of a tangent, but yeah.
All right then.
Wow. So is in the members only section, is this what Tim is like every night?
I don't know.
Because I know he can get, there was some event they had where a member was rebroadcasting. Remember that a while ago?
No.
And he got livid.
Really?
Yeah. So it's sometimes Tim has a very short. Why I look all red?
I don't know.
I know I'm drinking a beer, but I wouldn't think it. My allergies have been crazy this week.
Yeah, you live up.
Well, you two live up in the north. I'm in the south.
I don't live in the north.
Yeah, we ain't in the north. We're in the south, bro.
I mean, I'm in northeast Tennessee, but okay, I'm probably a little bit further north than you are.
Dog, we in the south. We below the Mason-Dixon.
Okay, fair point. But it seems like this dude, he's just sitting there too, and yeah, he had no idea what he was talking about, and Tim Pool is just going off on him, and I'm for it.
Yeah.
You can tell he's really trying though, like he's really trying.
So many young liberals who sit here and say, the corporate press told me that these people are bad, and the machine state government has decreed it by pen. So I don't care what crime they committed. I don't care what the jury said. I don't care who was on the jury. And Ricky Tario in prison.
Yeah, so they uncovered with him his plot to overthrow the government.
Enrique Tarry's?
Yeah, and his organization.
What plot?
Did it
Who's they?
bleeped out?
No.
I don't know. It was roboting out a lot for me during that. No, don't have to rewind it.
Yeah, so they uncovered with him his plot to overthrow the government.
Enrique Tarry's?
Yeah, and his organization.
What plot? Who's they? Give me some
prosecutors.
Give me some fucking data. Stop squinting at me and saying the prosecutors did a thing. You didn't know. You didn't read it. You didn't read the court papers. All you know is the fascist machine state told you he should be in prison, and you're saying yes to them. Tell me why.
No,
Give
no,
me the data.
I understand that laws on the books have been there for a long time that I agree with, that if it's proven that you had a plan and you wanted to act on it, and then days
What's
after.
the proof?
The proof is
Say the
evidence brought
proof.
forward by
Don't ask.
prosecutors.
Say
Evidence,
it.
Communications between.
What communications?
him
What did he
and
say?
the
What did he
Proud Boys.
do?
Is this serious?
Are you
Or
going to tell me
grandstanding?
why you think Enrique Tarrio should be in prison for 20 years, or are you going to say the government decreed it?
I just explained to you.
So the government said so. Is that it?
It's usually law enforcement, which I guess is part of the government.
Government said so?
Yep.
So
Law
you can't
enforcement
say why.
that uncovers evidence of communications, a memo that he crafted and sent to his organization.
Saying what?
That detailed each institution of government that they were going to try to overthrow. Then just days later,
Hello?
his organization is at the Capitol.
I don't think we can even pull up Enrique Tarrio.
I'm not quite sure that there's any evidence.
Do what?
So this is where Tim stopped listening. Because he was quite angry on a rant, and he wants too many specifics about a case where this kid doesn't know everything.
Yeah, but how are you gonna sit there and be like, yeah, this, and then not have like the actual facts behind it?
I can literally see the ice breaking, like really getting smashed under this guy. It is because he's going off of what was said, but not the actual facts and everything.
Yeah.
No, he's
The man in question who's currently sitting in jail right now, he had nothing to do with it. He was nowhere near the Capitol, nowhere near Washington at all.
Yeah. But the left doesn't care about facts. They care about the window dressing. They care about the optics of putting somebody in jail and calling him a felon for it. He's got 34 felonies and 2 impeachments and an insurrection. The world's greatest insurrectionist because no guns, right?
I challenge these people to look up the 1917 revolution in Russia and get back to me.
In Mother Russia.
Now that was an actual insurrection.
Yeah.
Same with the French.
Of course, yeah.
Same with the Germans. Same thing. What happened on January 6th was not even anywhere on that scale.
No, of course it
I'm
wasn't.
sad that now I'm sad that actually the female officer and everything died that day. I'm sad about that. Don't get me wrong here. But
Yeah.
it's not on that scale that they blew this up to be. It's not on that scale. Because there would if they claimed a violent. Here's the thing: if they claimed it was a violent thing, there would have been way more gunfire, way more bodies on the ground, like way more.
You've had violence in Portland, and the left keep turning a blind eye and saying, no, that's different. Well, what about when the left blew up Congress? I think, what was it, in 1974? That was, again, what about ASC and her sit-ins?
Yeah, dude, AOC walked up in the Capitol with a whole bunch of people one time, and nobody said anything about that.
Mm-hmm. There are just so many things wrong with the whole thing.
There are so many instances of the left breaking the law and then celebrating it. So right now, they're celebrating the murder of the CEO. Oh, so you're all about gun violence now,
Yeah.
And then you have ASC saying some violence is justified. Yeah, but that's the problem with the left. They always think that they are justified. And they're always crying when something goes wrong and goes off the rails. But that's what they do. They don't care about consequences. They care what will bring them power, okay? And that's probably why everybody is just, again, they probably had a decent conversation with this guy. They thought he was going to be a decent guest, and he turns out to be a douche.
Yep. and like I mentioned earlier, he's the gayer twin version of the other fruitcake.
That's funny.
He's the nuttier version of the other fruitcake.
There's the fruitcake that you know, and then there's the other fruitcake that you don't know, who's even worse than the original fruitcake.
All right,
What?
let it roll.
All right, cool.
That sort.
Yeah. You know what? I'll say this. The idea that Enrique Tarrio crafted a memo outlining
Okay.
or they 3 months featured witness evidence featured Tarrio and co-defendants included videos, thousands of messages.
Late for the love. Mute your microphone. Oh my God, would you mute your microphone?
Oh, that. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Every time you.
My
Yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't think about it. You didn't have to stop it on my account.
I couldn't hear nothing.
Oh.
Yeah, your static is loud, man.
I'm sorry.
I'll say this. The idea that Enrique Tarrio crafted a memo outlining or they 3 months featured witness evidence featured Tarrio and co-defense included videos, thousands of messages in encrypted chat groups, as well as a public message on Parler. On or before January 6th, Tarrio convened a Ministry of Self-Defense to coordinate Proud Boys leadership on January 6th. The chat showed that Tarrio, stationed in Baltimore, encouraged the Proud Boys as they attacked the Capitol. Let's figure out what that encouragement was. Are they going to actually say in the article? So here's a citation. Proud Boy and 3 other members of the far-right groups were convicted Thursday in a plot to attack the Capitol. A jury in Washington, D.C. found Tarrio and 3 lieutenants guilty of seditious conspiracy after hearing dozens of witnesses. Jurors cleared a 5th defendant, Dominic Pizzola, on a citizen charge in a significant milestone of the Justice Department, which is now secured a conspiracy, blah, blah, blah. They will never stop. Okay, that's interesting. Wikipedia asserts that they did this, but there's actually nothing in the news article that actually states that is true. Well, now we got a problem. Let's try this again. Let's try a secondary source. Let's see. There it is. They introduced evidence that Tarrio discussed with associates a plan to have a large crowd in Washington storm government buildings in a scheme they called 1776 Returns, in which the Winter Palace was used as an apparent code for the U.S. Capitol. In a message, he said, make no mistake, we did this, do what must be done, and he directed the Proud Boys to do it again. So the question then becomes, in the bigger picture...
So are you going to at all acknowledge that you just blew up over something that I was absolutely citing fairly?
I don't think you cited it fairly.
I think people should be prosecuted
for
for engaging in plans to overthrow a government. That's kind of
that's a very loose definition of plans to overthrow the government.
Y'all don't seem to be that informed.
Wait, look, respectfully, I cover a lot of protests and riots. A lot of people try to protest and riot and occupy government buildings. Do you think that qualifies as trying to, overthrow your government?
No.
Okay, good. So,
Yeah.
I mean...
but if they had a plan to take control of the government, which was this one.
If this was an actual plan, this was the leastly poorly,
most over the government,
ridiculous plan ever. They went after people for having Lego sets of the Capitol. Yeah. I mean, the level of political prosecution here. Would you even admit that there was some level of politics when it came to the prosecution of the J6ers? Would you say politics played a role in this?
Engaging with this as thoughtfully as possible, not trying to grandstand. Of course, often for very justifiable reasons, prosecutors will try to make an example of someone who, for example, tried to overthrow the government to prevent the peaceful transfer of power. I see why such a thing.
Personally, I reject
categorized.
Hey, pause that a second. He just made Tim's entire point that he's just babbling talking points.
Yes.
Because no one was charged with insurrection.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Not a single person.
He's babbling talking points. And that's the problem with the left. It's they don't care about the facts.
No.
Yeah.
The fact is, as you said, nobody was ever charged with insurrection. Okay?
Because I think he had a fair point about what Tim read. They got it a little muddy and he didn't get it exactly. But that one sentence negated any points he gained at all. Because that was only the thing in the press, not a single person charged with insurrection in any of these, whether the court cases were fair or not. Not a single charge of insurrection on anybody.
And it wasn't even heard in evidence because it was hearsay from federal agents who refused to testify.
Correct. Well, because if they testified, then we'd know how many there were.
Yeah.
That's right. You'd have to say, they'd have to stand up and say, yes, last night we had this conversation about insurrection. Really?
Yeah.
Who started the conversation? Oh, we did. On whose orders? Well, the FBI. They gave us a list of talking points.
Right.
And a list of
They would have to reveal who Ray Epps is, because we still don't really know if he's a stooge or if he's really an agent, and any other provocateurs. And what we would have seen in discovery is that all the provocation was done by various agents of the state, whether FBI, local, police department. There may have been some Navy intelligence assets, or may have been some CIA assets in there. Who knows? But it was non-organic.
We do know the Office of Naval Intelligence on the directorship of Mike Pence sent agents into the Proud Boys. Okay, so no Mike Pence took part in framing the Proud Boys.
Right.
Probably was going to clear himself, to run for president. That's what we think Pence was up to.
Sorry, was that noisy again?
Yes.
So when I take my headphones off, it's noisy?
Yes.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Mike's really picking everything up.
Yeah,
apparently.
Mike.
All right. So if I do this, hold on.
Correct.
Hey, go on to instead of doing all that, just go look on StreamYard and hit mute.
I know. It's
Or
right here.
set up a hotkey. I have a hotkey set up. I think I forgot it. My hotkey for mic mute is
I think.
It's Q. So when I hit Q or whatever.
How do you set up hotkeys?
Settings, hotkeys.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah, and you
Control
can do,
D.
I set my own to whatever I want. So it's just the quickest one I can get to. And then my camera off is W because they're right beside each other. But you can literally do whatever. But I have a soundboard, so I just mainly hit mute. And then I can just do whatever,
Right.
But, all right, let's finish this. We only got 20 seconds. I'm going to back it up to kind of 30 seconds and hear him digging a hole.
Prosecutors will try to make an example of someone who, for example, tried to overthrow the government to prevent the peaceful transfer of power. I see why categorized as sedition would be uniquely bad to prosecutors. And political in that this all involved politics, right? And thus,
I'm sorry, I have to say this. The Wikipedia article making those claims is not citing any actual proof that they said those things.
Ooh. So I take it back. All right. And then
this proves that Wikipedia is full of garbage.
Oh, yeah, Wikipedia. One of Wikipedia's founders left because he said they're so biased.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And this was nothing controversial. All he wanted was it was some video game or something. Just some video game or something. And they labeled it white or something. And
breaking news as of 8 hours ago. Car is driven into a group of people at a Christmas market in Germany.
Yeah.
Then they get what is it? What is this called? What's it called?
Oh, a car has driven. Yeah, it's a community notes.
A community note. That's what I was thinking. Community note. A car has driven implies that a car drove itself, which is factually inaccurate. A man from Saudi Arabia intentionally drove the car into the Christmas market as a terror attack.
this either gun them all down or mass deport them or do something, but stop pretending, right? Stop pretending it's not happening.
Yeah. Well, if that was driven by a white nationalist in Germany, that's what it would say. White nationalist drives car into Christmas market. You know from the title itself that it's either a black person or Islamist.
Who drove the car? Yeah, who drove the car?
Yep. Who drove the car?
I think 2 people were killed and several are seriously injured. So there might be more casualties as the days go on. But I'm old enough to remember a few years ago when they had the hug immigrant thing on New Year's, and Germany experienced highest rate of sexual assaults on young women ever.
Yeah,
I think that was during the COVID too. So this is something that's been building for decades, and they don't do anything about it. And the people who do speak about it, they just get disappeared by the police.
Yes.
Literally. It's not figuratively. Sometimes just gunned down. There was a guy that was exposed in the COVID mess really early on, and the police raided him, shot him to death when he's standing at his projector. And they had no fear of guns because it's very difficult to get a gun in Germany, and usually it's a rifle for hunting, and it's I think lever action or bolt action maybe restriction.
Yeah, it's very limited. Very limited.
So congratulations, Germany. You are already back under the fascists, and you voted for it again.
This time they call themselves the Greens.
Yep.
And they act through other agencies, of course, because once they get into positions of power, they put their agents into positions in the permanent bureaucracy. And again, it's hate to keep bringing up the 1930s, but there was a series of incidents that go all the way back through the 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s. But it's always the same people, the same corporations, the same political parties. They keep dancing around doing the same thing. And everybody just keeps pretending that, no, the Nazi Party doesn't exist. But they do. They kept changing themselves. The current iteration of the Nazi Party is the German Greens. People won't admit it, but if you go back, it was Anton something. There's this guy did a whole documentary on the German Workers' Party, the Volksparty, how it kept changing the names after it was dissolved in 1948. A short time later, the German Greens were born.
Let's see.
But the guy who exposed the operation, was pretty much once America moved into Germany. That's it. They put their, America and its obsessions, okay, putting people in the key positions who, for whatever reason, keep destroying the country. But
hey, so that dude, his name is Luke Beasley from Temple. He's got a podcast, and he's got a clip out where he says Trump supporters' brains stop working as I try to explain basic socioeconomics. We're going to watch this because this is going to be funny.
Often when someone is a single mother trying to raise children, those kids are going to be malnourished if we don't give them some support.
It's such bullshit. They're not going to be malnourished.
Have you met people?
Have you
met
my
any single
mother
mothers?
was a single mother.
Okay, so maybe she was like really successful or something?
No.
Then how did she support?
Yeah, she has boobs. Support. She has boobs, and she eats, and then you get breast milk right there.
So kids only
Dude,
live.
malnourished?
Kids
What?
only. Wait.
Are you sure you want this one?
The most stupid people to do this thing, like
He's
This is
making.
not. This isn't real. First off,
No, of
this
course,
isn't
it's
real.
all
He's
just
got
Gen
his
Z
buddy.
bullshit. Yeah.
He's gotten his buddy to come over here, put on a MAGA hat, and be
Yeah.
completely stupid.
That's what they do.
What are you still sucking on her? I'm saying that.
Where's the video of me drinking her breast milk? Get that one up.
He did.
Wait,
Jamie,
first of
pull that
all-
one up.
First of all, you have to.
Jamie, what do you think she's at?
You have to be nourished as
Joe
a
Rogan?
mother.
Yeah. Hey, cheers, Euler Greg. How you doing, buddy? He says,
Hey,
"Merry
Euler
Christmas,
Greg.
everyone." Yeah, Merry Christmas,
Merry
brother.
Christmas.
Take it easy. Thanks for hanging out with us, man. But yeah, this dude, he's a goofball, man.
To give good nourishment to your
Yeah.
babies, and then the babies grow out of the sucking phase.
Yeah.
And then you still have to
And then they
feed
eat
them.
food. Yeah.
Yeah. Often when some
Oh, wow. Food. Oh, what a genius. Wow. Did you know that, Anime Night? Then people, when you stop drinking milk, you start wanting food.
Oh
Real
dear.
genius.
Oh
Real
what?
genius.
Oh he's a genius. Okay.
Trump
He,
supporter. He's got another clip. Trump supporter doesn't want to have gay sex with his wife. Should we
Yeah.
watch it? Yes. The answer is yes.
the answer is yes.
I mean, you're having sex and you can't reproduce. Like, the best part about having sex is reproduction. Seriously. Like, I don't value sex because of an orgasm. I value sex because I know that I am going to reproduce and have another baby.
maybe the orgasms aren't good enough. Kidding. Sorry.
Pain. I mean, like, seriously though, like, the best part of it's why as soon as we got together, like, she's off birth control. As soon
We
as
got married, yeah.
as soon as we're together, it's like no birth control, nothing, because I'm not gonna have gay sex. And like, gay sex is more than just like another man and a man. It's just like the idea of looking at sex as such a materialistic thing and just like, oh well, like, we just have an orgasm and that.
What?
What? He's not having.
I need that clip. I need that clip of what's that dude's name where he's like, what?
That makes no sense. What? That makes less sense than Luke did, and I didn't think that was possible.
That's fun or whatever. No, like, dude, sex is about having children. It's about having babies. Like, you pump yourself full of birth control, and then you have sex with your wife, and like, there's no purpose there except just pleasure. That's the only purpose.
Should people
pleasure.
who are born like infertile
Okay.
have sex?
It depends. Listen, I am pro like people committing to celibacy for the rest of their life. I am pro like that. And if that was something that they
This dude's a neck-bearded loser for one thing. Like, he's not a real conservative. Hey, Tommy the Guinea Pig Collective, what's up, man? Hey, you want to link?
And he has the wrong
Drop me a
accent.
link.
How you supposed to be talking like? If he gonna be that dumb, he gonna be talking like that. He can't be going talking like that. If he gonna be talking about you.
Yeah,
He got the total wrong accent. He just fake it's gonna be.
Oh my god.
The reason why he talks like he went to the same school as Luke, because he probably did.
Yeah, they probably buddies, man. Like, this
Yeah,
guy over
they're-
here said something like, "Hey, come on my show. I need somebody to pretend to be a Trump supporter."
It's like, I'll pay you X amount of money. I'll pay you X amount of money. He is really.
Let's got 30
he's
seconds. Let's see if he
very-
can justify that with a biblical reference as to what sex is
He
about.
really is
'Cause he
Harry's
can't.
sister.
Hey, Tommy, I just dropped you a link if you want to check your DMs.
couldn't have babies, I believe that they should have that choice there.
Well, they have a choice.
Yeah.
But I'm saying,
Yeah,
is
so
that
I-
what you believe is correct? Infertile people, no sex for you.
I think that it's crazy. Infertile people don't think. I don't see anybody really saying that. Hey, I'm infertile, so I'm going to be celibate for the rest of my life. I'm not going to touch sex. I'm not going to have sex.
You think it's crazy people don't say that?
Yeah.
Wow.
I think that would be very honorable.
No gay sex with women, guys.
Very true.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. Yeah, I mean, you're having.
What? What? Oh,
I feel are we positive this guy isn't Harry Sisson's gay twin fruitcake brother? Are we positive here? Because he sounds like him. He nearly looks like him. He has the same mannerisms as him. I am convinced he is the long lost twin gay brother of him.
Yeah.
I am convinced. I am humbly convinced that this guy is that of what he is.
Oh, just so you know, I got to leave in about 10 minutes. So.
Oh my god! Thank God you pulled him off the screen because I was ready. Oh, I was ready. No, not gonna fire the cannon yet.
Definitely an idiot. Whatever damage these kids coming up with, whatever they're learning at school is not learning, okay? Because there's no critical thinking that, right? It's just basically, oh, I want attention. I want attention now. Okay,
Yeah.
What's the dumbest thing I could say? And at the same time, I could latch it on the MAGA, and I'll get the clicks and I'll get the views, and the dumbest people out there watch this shit just to confirm, their bias.
Because they're weird.
Weird, yeah, but
that's the nice way to say it.
But it's sad, at the same time, to think that people are actually believing this shit when we know for a fact most of these podcasts are fake. People still believe Jerry Springer's real. That's how stupid some people are.
Yeah.
He is, David. My stinking. Oh, dang it. So I used to have a thing where I could put a clip in and it would like be able to download it. It was tomp3.cc. Now apparently it doesn't work. Download a YouTube video.
So Diddy's lawyer is representing Luigi Mangione.
Oh wow, really?
They're on the same cell block. Yeah, they're in the same cell block. Diddy and Luigi selling it on the same cell block, and they now share a lawyer.
That's interesting.
When they're going to get married? I thought Juliet. I thought Diddy's defense team quit after he.
I don't know, man. It's hard to
tell. They're putting out stuff about this Diddy and. Yeah, he's in the same. He's not in the same cell. He's in the same row as Diddy. They share lawyers. Apparently, so somebody they've had a reshuffling of both of them had reshuffling of their legal team, and now for some reason they both have the same legal team.
because they like
Which leads
touch
me to
each
believe
other.
that, yeah.
Well, when'd you take your thing off?
What?
I didn't even notice. Your
Oh, dude, it got too
Grinch,
hot. It got
Grinch
too hot. I
costume.
took it off. It's like, I mean, I've got it from the waist down. It's
Oh, I see. All right, that's why I didn't see. Stand up. Okay, you just went.
yeah.
Sorry, I was reading something.
He-Man!
Yeah. My wife was like, just, because I was like, this is going to be too hot. She said, well, just don't wear no clothes underneath of it. I'm like, no.
Slip and slide. No clothes on the onesie, yeah. Slip and slide around.
Why isn't this working? Start up. I downloaded that Tim Robinson video. I'm trying to make a clip to put on here because it is perfect. Tim Robinson, he's going, what? So I'm gonna turn off my camera real quick because it's just gonna drag me down.
Don't drag me down. Gross. Yeah, I gotta get the dogs out and get to bed very soon. Gotta be up danged early.
Yeah.
Get up the beach mountain.
Well.
Hello.
I mean, I guess we can roll out now if you guys want to. If you want to.
Well, unless you guys have anything else, I don't know. I thought Tommy was coming in though.
I said something to him, but I guess not. He might be busy. Oh, coffee and gaming in the morning is going to be fun. Hopefully, if it'll work right, and we don't have to do. Because last week we just did talking, and apparently we had a massive show. There was like 150 people in there.
Wow.
Well, Jersey blew up with the drones. Now, the allegations around the drones are serious and severe, but there's no confirmation exactly what triggered the release of the drones.
Multiple three-letter agencies saying, hey, you got multiple government contractors, and they were all told, hey, do some test runs.
Yeah. Actually, according to a drone expert out of New Jersey, John Thompson, his video blew up viral. He's saying they were hunting for a dirty bomb.
Yeah, that's bullshit.
Really?
They weren't low enough. So? Yeah, I've seen interviews with people who've actually worked with that stuff, and they're not low enough.
Oh.
For the radiation that they're picking up, the levels that they have to pick up, they have to get a lot lower.
I thought you could pick up. You have to be within 100 meters of the nuke to pick up a nuke.
Yeah, and well, and especially some of the stuff they were talking about is low grade, so it's not going to be. You got to get really close to find it.
Like I said, it's not. But a lot of people don't actually understand what a nuke is. They think radiation is, you know.
Now, I wouldn't be surprised if one of those groups that was running stuff was told to go look for something, but there isn't anything. And some of this stuff, there was talking about medical things that were missing, which was bullcrap. And then there was a thing about the old Ukrainian nuclear missiles. And I actually know a guy who works at the Department of Energy and said, no, that stuff was moved in the U.S. under Clinton. They're not just running around. They know where every single nuclear weapon is.
There's talk of 132 nuclear weapons that are missing. No. The official...
In fact, they're building a new facility in South Carolina to handle them and re-upgrade them and refine them back into working order. They're all in the U.S. already.
Yeah. It's like we're missing tons of nuclear material. No. Over time, degradation of nuclear material means
and the upkeep on that is a lot. You have to keep them up or they do deteriorate quite quickly on purpose because you don't want it sitting around thousands of years. But
you want them to,
Yeah. So, my personal, I think they were trying to scare us into something to believe it were alien attack or something, because they know that the COVID nonsense isn't going to work. The Mpox didn't work, and people didn't buy that. And because I mean, how many years ago? It was like 5 or 6 years ago. They set a quarter there. It was a act of Congress that they could test different things. There's some pretty advanced drones that would look like we would think, oh my God, the aliens are here. But yeah, and this is even something that Von Braun talked about in the 70s. That on their last act of desperation would be to fake a alien invasion. Yeah. So
actually, pretty much that was his one of the big reasons why they shut him up is because he wouldn't stop talking about all the stuff that they were up to illegally in NASA.
Yeah. Well, and people kind of giggled about Trump trying to create Space Force, but some of the stuff that JFK was doing was trying to get NASA back a little bit more under more direct government control, as well as the intelligence stuff. They were doing stuff that the White House was supposed to have direct control over, and they weren't, and they thanked him for it in Dallas. So it's the same machine, just keep still trying to protect itself. It's over, and that's where, in many ways, like I said last week, it doesn't necessarily require an overall arcing conspiracy, because it's just the machine creates the people who do not get subjugated to machine get spat out or get Clintonized, or they
but if something goes wrong, then
small car, they got bigger ones too. They got some about the size of a minivan flying around. But there are all kinds of them. Plus, then you've got Amazon and others who have actually been experimenting with for years with drone delivery. You have people putting their drones up trying to figure out, and then those were getting intercepted and disabled. I just find it interesting around here where me and my neighbors could actually shoot them all down without hitting each other. We don't have a single thing flying around.
Yeah, it's because you won't. The same up here. Hey, I made that clip. Would you like to see it?
All right.
When this guy talks, whatever his name was over on X with Tim Pool, whatever that guy's stupid name was, this is what came to mind.
What the hell are you talking about? What is going on?
Tim Robinson is hysterical. Now when David starts talking, I'm gonna be like,
What the hell are you talking about? What is going on?
What we have with the drone situation is Trump's issued a statement saying that he knows the agency responsible and asked them to cut it out. And so far, has there been any drones launched since?
I don't know.
So who's launching them?
Ask him.
Well, it depends which ones you're talking about. Some of them are Navy.
The ones that came offshore came from the agency.
There's some of them are Army. The ones that were shooting at each other over the Army post, I guarantee are Army, because they would have been shot out of the sky. and the thing is your commercial aircraft radar can't pick them up effectively because they're so small and they're filtering down. Otherwise, they'd be picking up every bird flying around. Yeah. So, and then some people were just flying their own, and who knows? But anyway. I gotta go, guys. I got 2 dogs standing at me, and I gotta get to bed. But you guys have a good.
Okay. Coffee and Gaming tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. And check out everybody's channel. Lape, Enemy Night, and David. All their links are down below. You can go check them out. But we will be live tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. for some coffee and gaming. You guys have a great night. Take care. And if we don't see you tomorrow, you guys have a wonderful, merry, happy Christmas, Kwanzaa, Festivus, whatever you celebrate. Be happy about it.
Have a happy Han Kwanzaa.
There is only you.
Go to the commercial. Merry Christmas, Mahana Kwanzaa.
Yeah, there we go. Merry Christmas, Mahana
Kwanzaa. Yeah. Goodbye. Have a great night. Take care, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Goodbye! Bye-bye.
Good day, sir.
Later, dudes.
Good night, Jim Bob.
Hell, I got to go.
Peace out.
Burn in hell, New World Order. Fuck you. Fuck you, New World Order. Fuck you, Bill Gates.
I love you. You gotta do better than that. I love you.